for it, Vanessa.
PC?
That's perfect.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is Mission 1, Part 2, and my presentation on customer relationship management. So welcome, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jack.
Excellent. Just before today's presentation, I would have emailed over a copy of this document. Looks a little bit like that. Have you got that already and prepared?
I have. I've got your presentation in front of me now, the slides, thank you, on my iPad.
Excellent, thank you very much. I've asked you to bring that in on your own device because a massive part of our industry these days and the way that our bank has started to work is by using our own devices, sharing our own devices. And the same presentation I've got here, it'll be the same one that you can view on your screens.
Excellent.
But without much further ado, I would like us to move to the first page, please.
Yes, thank you.
And it should look just like that.
Perfect.
Customer relationship management. It's a subject I'm sure we all know much about. In fact, we live this day to day. But here's our chance just to study it a little bit more and just see how we can maybe bring it into our industry or into our branch a little bit more. So first of all, what is CRM? CRM is how any company really can acquire customers, how they can develop customers, and how they can retain customers. Confused face there just sort of wants to know a little bit more, and this is where we'll start to explain. So if we go to the next page, my learning. So I've been given the opportunity to learn a little bit more about our industry's understanding of CRM, customer relationship management, and how Santander intends to achieve the high standards of CRM on its journey to becoming Britain's best bank. Next page, please. The task that I've been given. So I've also had this opportunity to observe and even learn from two of our very own branch members. These people regulate role model behaviours that are needed to excel in customer relationship management. And on the next page, you'll start to see two of them there. So this is the team. These are the role models that I really want to engage with and learn a lot more from. We've got Gail Dean and we've got Adam Etoff. Now Gail Dean is a meter and greeter, that's her role here in the branch. It's the most important role as all of the sections of the branch really rely on Gail to guide our customers to the right place. There's sort of four factors that really set down in Gail's role. So one is that she should be setting a calm, welcoming and open atmosphere as customers walk through the door. Also, she should ensure that customers are seen in the right place and at the right time. She should coordinate the front of house in the right way so that customers are seen to the right people. And that sort of embraces as well an adapting front of house structure to meet demands. Sometimes certain sections of the branch could be busier, and so Gail will look for alternative ways to help those customers. Very clever. We've got Adam Etoff. He's a personal banker. He conducts meetings in order to learn more about our customers' needs, and then he builds strong relationships. This will lead to customer loyalty and even digital engagement. His main three factors to his role are to help customers prosper, massive focus for him, to give a great experience, and then also to keep safe and legal within that regulated environment. But let's delve a little bit deeper into each person. Next screen on. It's all about Gail. So prior to observing Gail, we had a bit of a one-to-one, a sit down, and for me really to gain a better understanding of Gail's responsibilities. How she role models these behaviours each and every day, and I'm quite keen to learn how Gail achieves this with each and every customer. So the tools, we had a big discussion about the tools which she uses, and I learned a lot more about the range of tools and even the training that Gail uses to ensure she's the best she can be in her role model and in her role. We have the front of house toolkit, so this really adds structure to her role. We even had observations, regular coachings and discussions to create more opportunities when the customers come through. As well as Neo CRM, branch tablets, digital ATMs, all these tools are what Gail's implementing each and every day with each and every customer, just to make sure we give that real red carpet treatment. We then had a bit of contracting time, so I sort of sat down and let Gail agree for me to sort of spend a bit more time observing the day-to-day. And in that way sort of really help to show and demonstrate how she does that. So it was very exciting stuff. What I learned from Gail and what we've got there to celebrate, I'm going to try and take three things from Gail forward. So one is positive language. Gail said to this particular customer, of course we can help you with that, let's check the availability out, and she did that straight away. And it's that sort of upbeat, positive, calm but yet relaxing atmosphere that leads to great customer relationship management. Channel of choice from the learning on the course that I've done, giving the customer that opportunity of choice. Everyone's different, everyone wants to sort of take advantage of different services. The channel of choice, so Gail made the customer aware that the choice is available. One particular customer I observed was adamant that she'd like to go to the counter in order to pay a check-in. But Gail still let her know about the other choices. Regardless, she let her know about the cash machine, how it's the same clearance time, how it's an easy process, and she was quite keen to sort of show this customer how that worked. The advantages that cash machine could still pay a check-in even out of branch hours, when the customer might be limiting herself to in-branch hours if she just wanted to use the counter. And again, with the positive language and with that channel of choice, again, just red carpet treatment. She's letting the customer know how other ways could be used to bank. Sense of belonging as well. So what was great was we've been lucky enough in our branch to have a recent branch refurbishment. And when the customer came in, Gail responded by asking, "Oh, do you like our new branch? It is much more modern now, with all the new technology fitted. It's all there to allow you to show you how to do these alternative ways of banking." And straight away the customers takes that positivity on straight away. They are looking at that sense of belonging, that we're part of this now, we're part of this custom. And again, it's another great step forward in what I've learned about customer relationship management. So many things to celebrate there. I'm very proud of Gail for it. Next bit is Adam. Looking at Adam, and prior to observing him, I had a sort of similar sit down as what I did with Gail. But working in a similar role as Adam, I already had a sort of a good understanding of the processes and the tools used to fulfil that role. But I was still keen to sort of deliver or delve further into what it takes to role model the behaviours and enhance the way that I work. So I discussed some of the tools. Similar to Gail, Adam uses a range of tools to really explore his customers' needs. Two of those are sort of between the Inspire wheel and also the Inspire prep tool. Now the Inspire wheel is a guide for our personal bankers in order to sort of really explore the customer's needs, and Adam wanted to pay a particular focus on one of these sections and asked me to learn a bit more about it, which was the welcome section of the wheel. He even stated that having got to know the ins and the outs of the welcome section did mean that I always had a way of assisting the customer in their next course of action. And Adam demonstrated a great grasp of what customers' stated and unstated needs are through that part of the section. The Inspire Prep tool as well, Adam stated about that particular tool that twice a week he's got the chance to check the Inspire Prep tool and check what the customers are due in for. This tool will give him ideas on services that we weren't currently helping them with, and also what their stated and their unstated needs are. So these two powerful tools are what I'm going to keep my eye out for when I started to observe Adam. And again, I got this opportunity to sit down and sit in some of his appointments and then start to gain that understanding that we could feed that back to him as well and just sort of see what else he could add to it. It's a great opportunity. Next page, please, Vanessa. Adam's observations. Again, I've actually picked out 3 areas that I would sort of love to take away from what I've observed with Adam. So one of them was recognising the customer's needs. Adam achieved this by demonstrating his skill using the customer service platform. This gave him great conversations and the opportunity to deepen his relationships, and he even revisited this customer platform at the end of his appointment just to sort of recap everything that he stated. Again, stated and unstated needs are all there in front of him, and he's there able to share it with the customer. So it's a really powerful tool, and it's something that I'm going to take forward. Building the customer confidence, so demonstrating ways to simplify a secure way of banking and increase the customer's confidence of using the mobile and online banking. So one particular example of this was a customer who banks at a competitor's bank, and they were set in one way of using a digital verification for their online banking. It is very different to the way that we do ours. We use a one-time passcode which is text to the customer. The other bank used a device where they had to verify the card. The customer had a few concerns about how that would work, what the differences would be, but Adam really built on that confidence and reassured the customer exactly what what to expect, the advantages of working in the way that we work, and that way the customer went away, I'm sure, much happier, and again, with that built up confidence in Santander and the way that we work. The last part I'm going to take a last sort of positive, and the last way of sort of building off what Adam has presented to me in his observations was the stated and unstated needs. I've mentioned it a few times with Adam, but that's really again because he role models that behaviour so well. So Adam always helps the customer with their primary needs first. He addresses that first. But then Adam demonstrated that great grasp of his customers' stated and unstated needs. So for this example, Mr. Customer, now that you are a banking customer and you intend to manage your money online, you would actually be eligible for a regular e-saver. Can I tell you a little bit more about that? That way you could earn, we all know what you can earn. So again, he's sort of really building on that relationship, and that's what customer relationship is about, isn't it? So thank you again, Adam, for sort of teaching me what you know. Next page, please, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
So we've not done all this for the fun of it. What I want to do is really start to build on that and really to learn from these observations with both Adam and Gail. So step 1, step 2 and step 3 is what we're really going to take away. The first one is all about the learning, whether it's the learning from the course material that had the opportunity to read, and also the observations and the way that we've managed to sort of discuss that with Adam and Gail is where it all starts. The second step really then is to start to develop that, so learning from ourselves and the industry and spending time to reflect in this way, sort of from a customer's point of view, from an outside of the box perspective, is where I can start to really absorb a lot of that information. And then finally, implement. It'd be a shame to go to the first 2 steps without really me taking that forward, implementing some of the things that I've seen, and really taking that forward in the way of improving my own view on customer relationship management, and how I role model those behaviours for the rest of the branch. Okay. Then what I wanted to start to discuss, Vanessa, on the next page, it will show about technology. Throughout the customer relationship management course I've been on, and even when I've started to really observe in the branch, I've started to really see how this technology is creeping in. I've made a list there of all the technology that we've started to use even since I started to work for the bank, and I've had to put it in pretty tiny text just because there's so much of it. That's all off the top of my head, and already I've sort of almost filled 4 lines of it. So anywhere from online banking to the contactless card payments, how they've evolved into Google Pay, PayM, text payments, all this sort of stuff is really creeping in. And I want to ask the question, is this technology the future of customer relationship management? If you flick to the next page, I'm going to put my own opinion on it as well, is that's a no. It's not the technology that will help us to succeed in becoming Britain's best bank. It's also that it's the staff that empower our customers to use this technology. There's even a bit of a quote there from Steve Jobs, and we all know who Steve Jobs was, that it's not the tools you have faith in. Tools are just tools. They either work or they don't work. It's actually the people that have faith in not, and it's very important, I think, that we do. So right back to the start, customer relationship management, how is this going to help Santander, and how is it going to help me to evolve my understanding of customer relationship further? Well, we have to remember what it's all about. So again, customer relationship management is about the way that we will acquire customers, how we'll develop the customers we've got, and then how we retain the customers as well. Now, I do want to open it up to any further questions, but before I do, Vanessa, one quote that we like to finish on, I'd like to finish on, is that the biggest risk today is the conversation that we didn't have. Okay, let's jump back. So, Vanessa, do you have any questions after everything I've just said?
Yes, that's very good, Jack. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Yes, I would definitely resonate with quite a lot of that in the way of acquiring customers, develop customers. In particular, the education piece is important. That there is a person at the end of every tool, and we need to engage with customers to help them with the tools. Because if we don't evolve as a company with all the new technology that is in front of us, and we don't educate customers in how to use it, potentially we won't continue to grow, you know, as a company.
That's
so
right, yeah.
Absolutely right with that. There's quite a lot of, you know, you've done some observations on Gail and Adam, which is great. You've talked about that you want to start role modelling that behaviour yourself with customers. Just interested to understand a little bit more around how are you going to do that, because in particular you enjoyed observing Gail in the way as her role downstairs is meeting and greeting every customer, and then understanding the reasons the customers come to visit so that they are with the right person to help that customer. But in particular, she's really showcasing and showing them the technology that's available to make it simpler and faster for the customer to use.
That's right, yeah.
So that's where you'll play a part in that when you are actually sat down in your interviews, which you've already said Adam is having those conversations with customers.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
And he is doing two things in particular. One is the education piece he's doing, and the other one is trying to add more value to customers by using the tools available.
Yeah.
And you've evidenced his role model in those. So what is it? How are you going to sort of role model those two behaviours in your job life now, in ensuring customers leave informed and better off?
Yeah. So I think we talk about stated and unstated needs. In the past, I know when I've had discussions even within our company, we call it sort of reactive and proactive, in the sense that yes, we do need to deal with the customer's primary need. We need to be reactive to what they're asking, but at the same time, I think what's just as important is that we're reactive. So sort of the listening skills that I've seen Adam demonstrate, the way that he sort of records them and he parks it till later, the tools that he uses with, like we said in this presentation, the Inspired Prep tool, he already has a good idea of what other services and other value that we could add to them, as well as then finally the wheel that we mentioned. You know, there's certain sections of that wheel that are there to guide me in my role. You know, throwing all that together, taking all those factors together, seeing how Adam does it, you know, is a massive advantage because he's already paved the way for me. But then for me to build on that further potentially and bring it all together, you know, and then deliver that to the customer and make sure it's delivered in the right way in the appropriate time, then yeah, you know, that's the behaviour I want to bring to it. Yeah, that's
great, because that fits in with the end of your presentation, that the biggest risk today is the conversation you choose not to have.
Yeah, that's it.
So if you're giving the customer the choices, then there's no risk because you've made them aware.
Yeah, we always talk about that, better off or better informed.
Great, thank you. I look forward to seeing that.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks for your time. Thank you, Vanessa.